こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、サッカー日本代表に関する動画です。サッカー日本代表は、今回の10月の代表期間で、パラグアイとブラジルと対戦する予定です。DeadBall TV では、今回は、アジアの代表チームの中で、将来明るい、将来有望な代表チームのランキングをしています。日本に関しては、言わずもがな1位としていますが、今回は4位とした韓国と、3位としたオーストラリアについて話している箇所を切り取っています。いずれもアジアの中では将来明るいのは間違いなく、世界の中でも存在感を示しているものの、日本と比べるとやはり劣る部分もあると話しています。実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。Guys, welcome back to the channel. Michael is joining me once again to talk about the Asian countries with the brightest futures. Down below in the comments, let me know one country that you think has a bright future and why, and bonus points if you go for a hotter take. If you guys like videos about Asian football, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, DeadBall TV, but also Michael Talks Football. Links to everything will be in the description of the video.
Number 4, then, I got South Korea. I think that's going to be
I got South Korea too at 4.
Yeah. So
okay, all right.
I think they will always consistently be in the top 5 for the next 3 decades. It's them and another team that I'm always going to be certified. They're going to be like the USA, Mexico, and Canada. Well, actually not Canada. USA, Mexico, where you just know they're going to produce talent. Because they just have such a good youth system. Since the 21st century, South Korea have certified them in being a good development nation. Where they have the good talents. And once they make that move to Europe, they stay in Europe for their entire career, unless like the later years they go back maybe to Saudi Arabia or they go to South Korea or other countries around Asia. But I look at their youth teams. They did quite well at the U20 World Cup, the last one, where they finished in, I think, 4th place, or they made it to the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken. And they were really competitive in that youth tournament. I remember watching it. Then I think the U20 Asian Cup, they made the semifinal, if I'm not mistaken. Wait. Yes, back-to-back semifinals, 2023, 2025. And then obviously you look at the young players they got like Lee Kang-gin and other guys. I think South Korea have a good future. Maybe it's not going to be like obviously 2002 World Cup making it to the semifinals, but still consistently qualifying for the World Cup, making it to the round of 16, and hopefully it could be the generation that finally win the Asian Cup. I think South Korea's still got a bright future.
I think the question for South Korea in terms of their future is not can they send players to Europe or make good players, because the answer is yes. They've proven that time and time again. It's can they replicate the superstars that they've produced? Can they replicate the Kim Min-jaes? Can they replicate the Sung Kyung-mins? Because if you compare them to Japan, they'll never be able to compete with Japan in terms of volume. But what they've had over Japan is the better players. They've sent the better individual players over to Europe. Japan just has like, I don't know, if we're going on a 10 scale, Korea sent like 2 or 3 10s or 9s over to Europe. Japan has sent like 10 8s and then like 100 7s and then like 300 6s and just like a bunch of players of like that magnitude. So they can't keep up with Japan in terms of depth. And we saw in round 3 of qualifying too, Japan's fielding a C team and they're beating Indonesia 6-0. Nobody else could do that. So they can't compete on depth. But if they can keep making the Lee Kang-ins, then I think they're going to be... I think Junho Bae looks like he's going to be a stud. I don't think he'll be Son level, but he looks like a very good footballer. That's going to be the key to success for Korea.
They could have that superstar. Oh my God, the Spurs guy. Young Min-hyuk? Is that the guy's name?
Min-hyuk. Yeah.
Min-hyuk.
Very good.
Because that guy, apparently he was a superstar in South Korea like at 18. And obviously Spurs signed him now. I don't know how he's going to be developed at Spurs with all the talent. So that's going to be a big issue. But he's only 19. So that could be another superstar. Like Son didn't turn into Son until he was 25 years old. So there is time to be that superstar sort of player. But South Korea will keep producing the talent. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah. And because they are a proven commodity, their players get a little bit more time to mature. Versus a Saudi player, you bet versus Ali Jassim for Iraq. Like, man, you better do something this year, or probably back to the Middle East. Whether it's fair, it's not fair, but that's the reality.
It is a reality.
You want to go? Give me your third.
Is it the Socceroos for you?
It is the Socceroos for me.
Okay, I think we're gonna have the same talk.
Oh, geez, the rest of the list is the same. Okay,
it is the same. But look, they just won the U20 Asian Cup, And you said they played some good footy, so hopefully they play some good footy, because what I've seen from the Socceroos has not been good footy in the last couple of years. It's been kind of diabolical. But you look at their team. I mean, the Boss brothers, I think they're 21, 22? Studs. Studs, those two guys. One plays for Mainz. The other one plays for Feyenoord. Just got signed by Feyenoord, who are going to play in the Champions League most likely if they qualify to the Champions League. Boss brothers. Irakunda, making the move to Watford. I think that's a good move for Irakunda.
Yes.
The Toure guy. Toure just made the move to Randers in Denmark. Perfect. So I think they got good youth players. Maybe in like last couple of years, their youth teams haven't been the greatest. But maybe we're seeing like the next generation of Aussie players that can really solidify themselves into a starting 11 and play at high level in European football. It's not going to be like the golden generation from the early 2000s where, I mean, there were so many guys in the Premier League. But you can have those guys playing in the Serie A, like Sivkati, also another player who's like 21 playing for Parma. I think the Socceroos got a bright future, and they're actually going to play some decent football. Hey, I think if you're Aussie, you should be really excited about your future compared to what it's been for the past decade. I think the past decade, yes, you won the Asian Cup, but since then it's been like, okay, we qualified to the World Cup. Obviously, the last World Cup, you did really well to make it to round of 16. But even the Asian Cups have kind of been underwhelming. Now, slowly but surely, the expectations will be back for Australia with this new generation.
Yeah. And I think similar to South Korea, they actually do quite well at World Cups, I would say. Like, you look at a team like Iran, like, they can't get out of the group. But if you look at, like, the superstars on Iran and Australia, Iran have better superstars. They have better star players, but they can't get it done. And Iran haven't won any Asian Cups either. In decades. In 4 decades, they haven't won. So it's been a long time. So I think how Australia performs at World Cups is actually underrated. You know, they do beat European teams. They give Argentina an absolute scare in the round of 16. So they have the international exposure. Check. Very large diaspora / dual nat to recruit from, especially Scotland. Greece is another huge one. Basically, the entire UK. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Italy. I mean, Alessandro Cercati sounds pretty Italian to me. Check, you got that. So you have like the domestic Australians, then you have the ones abroad to recruit from, and you kind of build a team around that. You already have a pretty decent player movement to Europe. It's not on the same volume of Japan, but it's underrated. Like sometimes my Australian buddies, they talk like nobody gives a damn about them, and I'm like, dude. I'm like, Jordan Boss just went to Feyenoord. Like, people will buy Australians. Irakunda went to Bayern. Like, you guys get player sales.
I think Teague just made the move to Europe as well.
Belgium, he went to... It begins with a W. Damn, help me out. Winthrop? That's not a team name.
That's a university in the States.
Yeah, hold on. He did not go to Winthrop University. What a signing that would have been for the college. Oh, I'm sorry. He went to KV Michelin. No, there was no W. It was a V.
KV
he went to Michelin.
Yeah.
There we go. Another good signing. Like, it's a myth. The belief that Australians don't go to Europe is a myth. So they got population size. They have players already abroad and in Europe. They have player sales to Europe. They are the most physically gifted country in the AFC. They're the best athletes in Asia. So at worst, they're going to beat you up even if you win with decent development. Their youth teams are not bad. They don't win very often. That's why when they won the U20s, that was like pretty rare. They don't win very often, but they don't get grouped that often either. They usually run into Japan, and shocker, they lose because Japan are freaking on one. They're cracked out at the youth level. That doesn't mean Australia suck. It just means they're just not quite on that level. So I think the future is pretty bright for Australia. And you look at this young team. If you look at this team, it's not very old. Like, they have older players.
That's a credit, though, to Popovic, because Popovic has been bringing the youth recently in the last couple of windows. So I think got to give some credit to Popovic, because Graham Arnold was kind of like apprehensive on bringing in youth players because he had that steady 11. He just stuck with it. Now Popovic is kind of bringing the young players like Boss, like obviously Sivkati. We saw T. Yeah. Now I just want to see Irakunda, and please, some Toure. This guy looks like a decent striker. He can start. He can start.
Yeah. No more Yangi. Mitchell Duke, thank you for your service.
No.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for how the Australians are going to look going forward. I'm not surprised we both have them here.
次は解説です。今回は少し難しいながら基本的なボキャブラリーや過去にも何度か解説したような重要なボキャブラリー、さらには新しいボキャブラリーもスラングもそれぞれありますので、数は多くはありませんが、早速本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。And because they are a proven commodity,
コモディティはもともと商品や物資を意味する言葉で、経済ニュースなどでよく出てきます。石油、金、小麦など国際的に取引される原材料を指すときに使われる専門用語です。プルーブンコモディティという表現は、ある人や物がすでに成果を出したことがあり、今後も信頼できるという意味です。例えば、スポーツ選手なら過去の活躍により評価が確立されている、ビジネスなら成功したプロジェクトや業績がある人を指します。会話の中で、この人は間違いないや、この商品は売れると言いたいときにぴったりです。日常会話よりは、ニュース、ビジネス、スポーツなどフォーマルで専門的な場面でよく使われる表現です。
And because they are a proven commodity, it's
been kind of diabolical. But you look at their team.
ダイアボリカルは、本来は悪魔のようなという意味の強い形容詞ですが、日常英会話では、とても悪いや、最悪、ひどいといったカジュアルな意味でよく使われます。例えば天気がひどかった時に、The weather was diabolical。試合の内容が散々だった時に、That game was diabolical というように使います。イギリス英語圏で特に一般的で、少し強めのネガティブ表現なので使う場面には注意しましょう。テリブルやオーフルよりも感情がこもった言い方になります。
It's been kind of diabolical, but you look at their team. It's been kind of diabolical, but you look at their team. But even the Asian Cups have kind of been underwhelming.
アンダーウェルミングは、期待していたほどではなかったや、印象に残らなかったという意味で使われる言葉です。例えば、楽しみにしていた映画やコンサートがまあまあだったというような場合に、It was underwhelming と言います。語源的には、圧倒されるほど素晴らしいという意味のオーバーウェルミングの逆で、期待を下回るという意味合いがあります。失望とまではいかないけれど、もう少し良いかと思ったといったニュアンスを含んだ便利な表現です。ネイティブスピーカーが映画や試合、製品のレビューなどでよく使う言い回しの一つです。
But even the Asian Cups have kind of been underwhelming.
Very large diaspora / dual nat to recruit from.
ディアスポラは日本語でもカタカナで使うこともあるようですが、ある民族や文化的な集団が本来の土地を離れ、世界中に広がって生活している状態を指す言葉です。最もよく知られている例がユダヤ人のディアスポラですが、現代ではアフリカ系、インド系、韓国系、中国系など多くの民族に対して使われています。故郷を離れても、文化や宗教、言語などのアイデンティティを保ちながら、別の国でコミュニティを形成している人々のことを表します。歴史や国際社会、移民の話題で品質する重要な語です。
Very large diaspora / dual nat to recruit from. Very large diaspora / dual nat to recruit from. The belief that Australians don't go to Europe is a myth.
ミースは神話と誤解された通説の2つの意味を持つ重要な単語です。1つ目はギリシャ神話や日本神話など古代の神々や英雄の物語を指します。2つ目は現代でも信じられているけれど本当は間違っている俗説や迷信のことを指します。例えばお金があれば幸せになれるといった考えはミースとして批判的に語られることがあります。文脈によって意味が大きく変わるため、両方の使い方をしっかり覚えておくと英語力が格段に上がります。
The belief that Australians don't go to Europe is a myth. The belief that Australians don't go to Europe is a myth. They're cracked out at the youth level.
クラックドアウトは、もともと薬物スラングとして使われていた表現で、正気じゃないや、異常な状態といったネガティブな意味を持っていました。しかし最近では、若者の間で、異常にうまいや、良い意味でぶっ壊れてるといった褒め言葉としても使われます。特にゲームやスポーツの話題では、やばいくらいうまいや、ずば抜けているという意味で登場します。ただし、正式な会話やビジネス英語では不適切なので、カジュアルな場面だけに留めましょ
う。They're cracked out at the youth level. They're cracked out at the youth level.
Apprehensive on bringing in youth players.
アプリヘンシブは、 これから起こることに対して不安や心配を感じるという意味の形容詞です。怖いまではいかないけれど、何か悪いことがあるかもしれないと感じている状態を表します。例えば、初めての仕事、試験の結果、手術の前など、まだ何も起きていないけど心配している時に使われます。丁寧な表現やビジネス英語でもよく使われる語彙なので、覚えておくと便利です。
Apprehensive on bringing in youth players. Apprehensive on bringing in youth players.
いかがでしたか？韓国が4位というのは、現状と比べると少し期待感が薄いようにも感じますが、オーストラリアの選手が最近はかなりヨーロッパにも移籍している流れがあるようで、強いオーストラリアがまた戻ってくると期待しているようにも伺えます。それでも、どうしても日本と比べると、ヨーロッパに移籍している選手の数で言えば、日本が圧倒的であるように、あまり比べ物にならないといった感じにも聞こえます。それでも、韓国については、ニューカッスルに移籍した18歳のパクスンス。ローンに出ているものの、ブレントフォードに移籍した20歳のキムジス。ブライトンに移籍した18歳のユンドヨン。ここでも話していたトッテナムの19歳のヤンミニョクなど、とても若い選手が、日本人よりもプレミアリーグに流入しているようにも思えますし、この中からスーパースターが出てくるような可能性もありそうに感じます。いずれにしても、やはりオーストラリア含めたアジアの国から、今後もヨーロッパでプレーする流れは変わらないでしょうから、こういう選手たちにも、また注目していきたいと思います。最後に、プレゼント企画についてです。来週に開催されるサッカー日本代表のブラジル戦の観戦チケットのプレゼントについてですが、応募者数が50人を超えたら、という条件で募集しておりましたが、数えるほどしか応募がありませんでした。少し残念な一方で、応募いただいた方には感謝の気持ちもあり、応募者4名と46個分の外れを加えたルーレットを実施し、当たればチケットをプレゼントしたいと思います。チャンスを最大化するという意味で、3回ルーレットを回しています。抽選の結果をご確認ください。残念ながら、今回は当選者は該当なしとなりました。皆さんの声があれば、今後また実施したいと思いますので、何なりとご意見ください。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。また、すぐにお会いしましょう。